And we are back with another episode of Twisting It with Taffy. Me, the dumbass who does this podcast, Taffy, is here talking with my friend again, Fenris, who is going to introduce themselves because I fucked that up.
Of course, super glad to have you back, Taffy. Always happy to have you. Welcome to the studio. I am, once again, if you remember me from the last stream that you guys listened to, I was Fenris at the time. Today, I am just Fenris, talking about mostly my non-fetish related crafty crafts under the business title Grossheim Crafts. Through Grossheim Crafts, I am a multimedia craftsman specializing mostly in woodwork, sewing and costume creation, leatherwork, resin, blacksmithing. The list goes on. But those are my two, those are a short list of my main focuses. So that's what we're here to have a fun little convo about today.
And fun this one should be, because this is a lot of stuff that, like, I fucking love learning about and doing, but I don't ever do because it's just, I don't have the ability to do most of this stuff. I don't have the time. I don't have the patience. But, like, I fucking love leather work. I would love to do blacksmithing stuff. I have a bachelor's degree in theater, so I did a shit ton of sewing and all that. I did a whole costume design class. I made my own shirt and like whatnot, but like the stuff you have just in here alone, which people don't get to see because I don't do video yet, is insane. And this is stuff that they battle in.
I would say compete. Yeah.
The stuff that they compete in, and it is,
except for that one. I don't compete in that one. That one is for a children's entertainment company that I work with.
Even so, these are like period specific, accurate kind of shit. It's insane. But
and of course it can be hard for you, living out of your car, traveling a lot,
room
being a stagehand. Yeah, like your car would fit in the studio that I work in and have all my tools and everything in. Like I could fill your car with half the stuff that I have in this room.
Oh yeah.
And that's just not feasible.
But so with that, as always, as the best way to start off a podcast, how did you get into it?
How did I get into it? Well, Midwest knee slap, let me tell you.
Don't you pull that shit around.
So it was, being crafty was ingrained into me at a very young age. My dad growing up was an over-the-road truck driver, and what a good dad he was, doing everything that he needed to support his family, even though he couldn't be home all that much. And I don't fault him for that. But when he was home, I got to hang out with him doing blacksmithing and bow making. He was a blacksmith and a bowyer, as well as an avid hunter. So I was always interested in the very traditional, very old school style crafts. What with my dad being a very mountaineer type person, and was really interested in those old school crafts, and even nowadays, definitely raised me up to be the kind of person to have like a go bag with survival equipment in it if something happened to the infrastructure of America and we needed to go live in the woods for a while.
I just ended up making mine a car full of stuff.
Yep.
I have a go bag.
Absolutely, 100%. Yep.
But because like I'm within that range too. I learned. I'm not a hunter. I was never good at being quiet, so my dad would never take me out on that shit. Also scared of blood, so couldn't really do like the cutting and tanning and stuff. But I learned how to sew mostly in college. I learned a lot of this stuff in college more so than I did ever growing up. Mm-hmm. But like I've just since adulthood, I've always been one of those people that is like, if I can learn it, why the fuck not? Mm-hmm. Like, there's no reason to not have the at least basic understanding of how to do most stuff. Because, being able to sew something up is important. Yeah. Knowing, like, the process of smithing for the most part, like, to repair something, kind of useful in situations. For sure. So, I definitely get that. Was there more you wanted to go in on that?
Absolutely. So there's another flip side of that whole idea for me. So not only was I raised in a very creative environment and very interested in crafting and working on things with my hands, I also wasn't wealthy. My dad being a truck driver, we moved around a lot, wherever there was business. Lived in trailers for the most part. Occasionally we got to live in a house, that was nice. But we definitely lived within our means. We owned what we needed to own.
Yep.
To get by, and occasionally we're allowed to, splurge on things here and there. That being said, I'm even still currently in the same position of I can't afford the things that I make. And it was that way when I was growing up. The idea was, hey, there's this really cool thing that I want. I can't afford to buy it, but I bet I could probably make it. And if I make it myself, there's that extra pride and ownership if I made that thing. And that's how I learned most of the skills that I have now is I want this thing, so I'll learn how to make this thing. And now that I have this skill, I'll turn this skill into money for me and make it so that other people can buy it from me.
Okay. So then, within that, what is your preferred area of craftsmanship? What do you like doing the most?
Man, that is such a hard question to answer.
Well, just like picking a favorite child, everyone says that they can't do it, but they have one. They have one.
You're absolutely right.
And it was me.
Anyway, it was me, 100%. You know what? I feel like it was probably me. Like, my mom knows that my brother is going to be the one that takes care of her when she's old.
Hey, same.
Yeah, but
my sister's doing that shit.
Yeah,
my sister's more of a man than I'll ever be.
And my sister, she's very talented. She's a musician and a vocal artist. She's a singer. She's pretty great at doing that. She's also a bit of a witch and getting into that culture as well, which is super cool. And then me, I've always just been like an entrepreneur out here doing my own thing. And you know what? I feel like my parents just kind of respect me more for that.
Yeah.
Because my brother spent most of his life, playing video games, and still now spends his life playing video games. Like he has 2 jobs, and he uses those 2 jobs to pay for playing video games. Yep. And you know what? That's what makes him happy. And so frequently, I look at him and I'm like, God damn, you got it figured out. But
I wish I could do that. I just don't. They don't hit the same anymore as they did as a kid. And I'm like,
it's true. Yeah,
there's the world out there.
Mm-hmm. Man, favorite. That's so hard. I think it's gotta be blacksmithing.
That was the correct answer I was looking for. We can continue on to the next part of Jeopardy.
I don't get to do it as much as I'd like to currently. I've got my...
I feel like it's kind of hard to do in this area, like just having a space for it.
Actually, it's really just because I'm lazy. So downstairs in my living room, I've got a 2-burner propane forge in a box.
Oh, okay.
And I've got in my garage all the tools that I need to set up my forge. I just need to do it. I just need to go out there and build the rack for my forge and get my anvil set up and get my tools up and buy a fucking 40 to 100 gallon propane tank to power my propane forge and just start doing it. But here's the thing.
You know what that sounds like? It sounds like it'd make a great stream.
Oh my gosh, you're so right. Absolutely, 100% correct. Of all, like, I've made, commissions for whole outfits. I've made fetish gear and impact toys, and as far as blacksmithing goes, there's just so much intrigue and passion that goes into fucking working a hot piece of metal.
Yeah.
It just feels good. It's got to be, of all the things that I do, blacksmithing's got to be it. And you would think, being so passionate about it, that I'd already fucking have it done. No, I'm fucking a lazy piece of shit. Honestly, the only thing stopping me is a propane bottle. Like, if I had a propane bottle, there would be absolutely nothing in my way to be like, look here, you lazy piece of shit. Like, why aren't you doing it?
Don't you?
Yeah, like a 40-gallon at least, if you don't want it to freeze up while you're trying to forge.
What's the size that you normally get for like a grill? That's what
20
10 gallon. That's 20.
20.
Oh, that's
yeah.
not bad. Okay.
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
Okay.
But what I want is because I'm always all about like getting everything I need to do it as best as I can straight out the gate.
Yep.
So I want like a big 100-gallon tank to stick over in the in my forage area. But right now my fucking garage is full of motorcycles. I've got my fucking Roadstar that you saw a while back when we met for lunch, and then I've got a '95 Harley Heritage Softail, which I'll probably be selling here pretty soon, and then I've got another Roadstar that I'm gonna be building into a chopper because I'm a fucking tall ass lanky motherfucker and I need a chopper. I want a chopper. I've been so passionate about choppers ever since I was a fucking little kid. And then I've got my brother's V-Star 650 that I'm building for him. It's a basket case right now, and it just gets built as he buys parts for it. Because one of my dad's dreams has always been to ride to Sturgis with his two sons.
See, I want to do a cross-country road trip through Route 66 really badly, but I'm not doing it alone. I want
Honestly, fuck. I rode to Colorado Springs recently, and then tagged along with them to California for Great Western War. And fuck, 10 hours on the back. And like, I'm on a big, heavy, comfortable bike, and 10 hours on that ride was just
Yeah, but a car is different.
Yeah, a car is different. Absolutely, 100%.
Colorado Springs is fun because I've got my family mountain out there.
You know, I enjoyed being
it's not my
Colorado
family mountain,
Springs.
but like my family someone in my family discovered Pikes Peak. Yeah, I'm related to the person who put a name on Pikes Peak, Zebulon Montgomery Pike.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's me.
So it's my mountain.
So it's my mountain. Yeah, I enjoyed being out in Colorado Springs. It was a lot of fun. Really cool.
It was man when I went, but I also went in the winter and there wasn't a whole lot of people there.
That's fair.
Cold.
I went there like when it was a little warm, and man, you know what I didn't realize how much elevation really does affect your physiology. Yeah. Like down
You're
here
over a mile
at
in the
my
air.
level, like I'm a pretty stout competitor in the sword fighting field. I got up there and I did some research on it afterwards. Apparently it takes like pro athletes 2 weeks to fully acclimate to that situation.
Yeah.
I felt like dog shit competing at their school. Ugh,
I did a youth camp in Buena Vista, Colorado in high school, and it's like the elevation's like 9,000 feet starting.
Yeah.
And they were like the first day you get there, like there's all kinds of sports and stuff. We weren't allowed to do sports at all the first day because they wouldn't let us like strenuate ourselves that much because it was just not like safe. Like you were just gonna fucking fall out and whatnot, which is smart. But yeah, that shit's insane.
Yeah, that shit is insane.
But to get back to the topic at hand,
right?
So we've talked about what you like to do. What do you predominantly do? Like, what's the main thing that you find yourself doing, or what makes you like what gets you the most profit?
Whenever I started out, right during the pandemic, I was fortunate enough to be working for a company that took care of its employees really well. We got time and a half pay turned into double pay for overtime. We got hazard pay for working during the pandemic.
I fucking wish.
And we got...
I worked for Walmart during the pandemic.
I worked for Home Depot during the pandemic.
God,
and they fucking took care of us. Oh, forklift certified is great. And through the pandemic, of course, we were an essential business, and my department of Home Depot, the deliveries department, was definitely one of the departments that was never going to get shut down because that's what people were doing most, they were ordering deliveries.
That's what I did.
So that was all day long, going out and doing deliveries, and I fucking worked overtime. I got those hours, and I saved up that money.
I should have done that
to buy everything that I needed to set up Gross Time Crafts. So in my basement, I've got a full wood shop that I built. Here in my studio, we've got my sewing table, my leatherworking bench, and eventually my jewelry smithing bench. I don't have any jewelry smithing tools yet. I just put the bench there because I was like...
And it's covered with
it's covered with junk. Absolutely. And then out in the garage, I've still got some lumber left over from my calculations needed to produce my ideal forge layout. And so I've got all this stuff. And I thought in my head, in my business model, that my biggest profiting thing was gonna be hand forged Norse / pagan jewelry and accessories, as well as camp gear like fork, knife, spoon sets, stuff like that. And then after that would be BDSM impact toys and fetish gear through leatherworking. And then after that would be custom historic recreation clothing kits. You can't see as we're sitting here in the studio, those of you at home, but hanging up in various different parts of my room, I've got
gorgeous.
I've got two 16th century Elizabethan inspired garments, full outfits that I've made, which you can see on my Instagram page, Grossheim Crafts. And then on the adjacent wall, I've also got a 17th century period accurate pirate outfit that I use for the children's entertainment company I work for, the Storybook Forest. And right now, what's making me the most money is making these kits. And that's not something that I expected, because it takes 100 plus working hours to knock out one of these kits. And paying myself reasonably, $16 an hour, not to mention the amount of cost for materials, which is usually around like $250, $300. That's like $2,200, $2,500 investment for one of these kits.
Yeah.
And some people are paying that.
Yeah.
And right now, the only money that I've got coming in are commissions that I've already made, because I know they're expensive, and I know people that compete with me don't have a whole lot of money, so I'm give them a little leeway, and I'm like, hey, look, pay for the materials up front, I'll make the kit, and then send me payments, and then I'll send you the kit once it's all paid off.
Yeah.
And
I was gonna say, do you do like installments or like a credit system or something like that?
Yeah, absolutely. So what I do for the most part, like I just explained a little bit, is $250 investment for materials, so that I can afford to buy the materials necessary to make the kit after we go through a design process and get your measurements. And that's not even profit. That's just what I need to make that kit.
Yeah.
And then I can comfortably knock out an outfit in about 2 weeks. Uncomfortably, I can knock out an outfit like these in 1 week. In fact, I did recently. A couple months ago, I knocked out 3 of these kits in 1 month. After that,
Sunlight was fun to experiment, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. After that, once I've made the kit, then pay me ideally in about $200 installments every month. More if you can afford it, and I'm pretty negotiable on less depending on your situation, because it's just good advertising.
It's also
for me to have my shit out on the field and people fighting in it. And it pays to be a decent fucking human being. So
I don't know. For me, it doesn't, because I keep doing photos for free because I'm a fucking dumbass.
Right.
I just always feel so awkward asking, like, "Hey, can you
I'm the
do you
same
want to give
way...
me money for taking nudes?" Please?
I'm the same way with my shibari. Like, for the longest time, and I've been doing shibari for a long time. For the longest time, anybody who asked me what my rates were would come in super interested, ask me what my rates were. I'd tell them, and then I wouldn't hear from them again. So for the longest time, I was like, don't tell people I don't charge for shibari because people won't pay for it. And now I'm at the point where I was like, no, I need to charge people.
Was it because you were charging too much or too little?
I don't know.
Okay.
It's hard to get that information when you get ghosted after giving your rates. I think my rates are pretty reasonable. A shoot, a full shibari shoot, whether it be like a sex work related content shoot for OnlyFans, or just a model wanting to get some stuff for a magazine or their portfolio, would take roughly about 2 to 3 hours. It takes about a half hour to get somebody fully rigged.
That's about where my
and
photo
then-
shoots last, is about 2 or 3
Yeah,
hours.
exactly. And I've got what I think is a pretty reasonable pay structure. So for people who want to shoot that produces content that I'm not allowed to use, all you want is for me to come tie you up. You pay me, and then I don't hear anything else. That's $150, and that's for the whole shoot. It's not $150 an hour. It's just I come out, do
That's
the
a lot
job.
cheaper than I thought it was gonna
$150. I know. And then it drops down even further to that if you want a social media friendly, non nudity shoot that produces content that I can use. That's $100. And then for sex workers, it's even cheaper. If it's producing sex work content that I get to use later involving nudity, things that I can post on my OnlyFans, it's $50. And then there's a whole ass other tier where it's free if you want to work with me. Yeah, like if you want to collab.
That's where I am. I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to charge you if we're also, like, if I get to have sex and I get to use it for myself, why the fuck would I charge you?
Yeah.
That's rude.
Yeah, absolutely. And, like, I may be bringing, this shibari skill to the table, but you're, like, without you, there's nothing that I can use the shibari for. So, like, it's a collaboration.
Because, like, my prices for, like, my photography, which I haven't gotten to, like, actually happen yet, working on it, that's one of the big things for this year, is it's I wish I could pull up my thing and just look it up because I don't remember. Headshots or just, like, a straight, like, portfolio image or something like you want, like a new header or something for a LinkedIn. $50. You get 2 photos, $50. That's very cheap compared to what other people charge for a headshot. Single headshot.
Yeah.
And then a generic photo shoot, like with clothes, like you're just out and about in town, or you just want something good, like for Instagram. $100. You get.
That is half of what any photographer in this area is going to charge for something like that.
And I do it too. You get way more out of me than you're going to get from them because I give people any photo I'm willing to edit.
Yeah.
If I go through the photos, I'll hit the stars and whatnot. And like, if I like the photo, you're going to get it because that's more photos of mine with my name on it that go out in the world.
Yeah.
And that's more people being like, hey, I got photos from this guy, hit him up. So like, you usually get about 20 to 30 photos from me.
Yeah.
And then, if you want boudoir, like, sexy photos, but not necessarily fully nude, then it's $200. Super cheap for that. And then, for full nude, if you want full nude or erotic photography, in which I don't get to participate in or do anything with, it's $300.
Right.
But that is because that is what I have spent my time in college and my photographic career getting good at, understanding, and being able to make you feel comfortable doing.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I've gotten myself to the point to where I know what people want to see. I feel like I've gotten my brain to where the average male gaze viewer, or even somewhat on the female gaze, like I try to be able to do both, is able, what's going to make you money? What's people are going to interact with and see? Because I feel like I know what's hot. I feel like I know, like, if it gets me riled up, it's going to get someone else riled up. Because I'm pretty fucking easy.
Right.
So, like, I feel like $300 still undercharging it. But, like, it's a good, decent price that, like, if I could get 3 photo shoots, because I can bust a photo shoot out in an hour, 2 hours, depending on what we're doing. I can do 3 of those in a day, and that's a lot of money.
Yeah,
it's a good chunk of money. But... I always feel bad. I'm like, I don't know how to, like, pay me.
So this actually isn't the first time I've heard this.
But, like, that
it's a lot
sounds
lower
pretty
than what I
reasonable,
would have
right?
thought. What would you have thought I would charge?
For a photo shoot where it's just for them, because, like, for yours it makes sense. I also would probably charge different rates because, like, I'm always going to be like, hey, if we're taking these photos, I do own the copyright to these photos.
Exactly, yeah.
I'm going to use these.
Yeah.
If they want to have it to where I don't get to use these, that's extra.
Yeah.
That is paperwork I have to fill out and time of mine that I don't get the benefit from. That adds probably 50% more to the price of the photo shoot.
And there's only ever been 2 situations where I've seen that come up. One, submitting to a magazine because they don't want that on social media, because why would they buy the magazine if it was on social media? And two,
and if you're submitting to a magazine, you have the money to pay me.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
that's not entirely true.
I'm talking about with a magazine. If I work with the magazine.
Yeah. I've submitted
That's what
to
I'm trying.
most of the magazines that I've been in have been free subs.
Yeah.
I've never been, I've been published a few times, but I've never been like on the cover.
Yeah. But for you, like, I don't know, I feel like another 100 on that one would have been a solid price, because like it would be exorbitant to be like $500 for that, for what you do. Not saying what you do isn't like impressive.
Yeah.
It's really good, but like, also, yours doesn't necessarily come with name recognition or brand recognition like, say, Kimbaku.
Right.
I would say. Plus, if you've seen him work, it's fucking just like, wow, he's done. Yeah. Cool. I didn't even have time to jerk off. Wow. Or anything. So it's like, I feel like you could ask $250 for what you do. I haven't seen a whole lot of what you do, but like,
1 second. I want you to expound a little bit more about that. Kimbaku Studios is like really fast at rigging.
Oh my god.
Tell me more about that, because I follow them on Instagram, of course, because their work is amazing, but I've never seen their videos. I've never gotten to meet them in person or work with them. Tell me more about that.
So I've never seen them do something slow. Like, so they did my first tie-up scene was different because he had to go slow because it was my first time with him. But the second time we did a scene with me, I was suspended in the air, like hanging, in about 2.5 minutes.
Damn.
Maybe 5 minutes. Time was relative. I was naked and horny. I don't know. But we he did a scene with Lauren Phillips at Exotica whenever I was there, and she got on stage. It was maybe a 6-minute scene in total where like they did, I don't know what it's called. It's the very basic, the diamond pattern wrap around like through the sides and like comes into each other.
Super basic body harness.
Yeah, super basic body harness. Took that off, and then did a pentagram harness. Took that off and did something just on the legs in about 6 to 7 minutes of a scene. And I was like you see this dude, it's like, I wish there was video for these. I feel bad for them, but like, it's fucking. I'm just like, every time I watch him do it, I'm like, wow, you're really good.
Damn,
that meme.
That makes me feel like a chump, because like every time somebody talks to me about doing a shibari shoot, in my head I'm like, you need to set aside a half hour at least,
which is
for
fair.
Me tying you up before the photographer even gets to start shooting you with me out of frame.
But that's also totally fair, because like, also what they were doing, he didn't do like a full body. Like it was decent. I don't know. I'll show you a video of what he did to me at Exotica after the stream. But yeah, but I would still say, because like you're there for that whole time. You're doing something that they can't do,
right,
or other people can't do safely. Yeah, because yours does come with a bit of risk.
Absolutely.
Paying for the knowledge is the more important thing.
For sure.
And I come out of this being like, I'm scared to have people pay me for my knowledge that I spent 6 years getting good at. But like $250, I feel like isn't bad for like a full shoot. And like, what do you do multiple different ties, or is it just one?
It's usually multiple different ties. I usually do like 2, 3, sometimes 4 different ties, depending on how experienced the bunny is who's getting tied up. Like if they're interested in doing a suspension, then I'll focus a lot on that suspension and making that suspension look good, and we'll do maybe 2 different suspensions depending on how intense they are and how much the bunny can handle. But if it's all floor work, like 3, 4, 5 different sets in the course of like an hour or 2.
I definitely feel like you could up your main one to
I want
to $250.
I want to say that, but like so much of the experience
but
of
you have the
what are
work
your
behind
rates,
it to prove
these are my rates, and then never hearing from anybody again.
What were you at when you started with the rates?
Same thing.
Well, you know what's different between then and now?
I've been doing it for so much longer.
Several years behind your belt. Yeah.
Yep. I'm looking at 8 years doing shibari now.
Because
almost 9.
If you were new to this and you were like, yeah, I know a couple of things, like I can get you in the air safely, I'd be like, okay, cool. $75.
Right.
I might lose a leg. But like, for those that didn't hear, I was like $75. But
Yeah.
if you're not, if you have the experience, you have the portfolio, you have the people to back you up with it, which is where I'm at when it comes to, I don't have the people to really back me up. Like, I've had some people, but a lot of people are really bad at actually using my photos. I'm like,
Right.
fucking use them, you piece of shit.
I'm so bad about the opposite. Like, people use my photos, but I don't.
Yeah.
I'm so bad at posting and like promoting myself on social media and posting my stuff on Instagram and getting it out there.
But also,
and
if you
having
did it on
portfolio people to look
FetLife,
at.
you do so well on
I
FetLife.
bet you're so right.
That's
I
a
should do
main
that.
place for what you do that you need to be posting.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I feel like you would be well within your range, just like from like the Christmas shoot I saw of Ghosty. Like that was nice.
Yeah.
That was nice.
Yeah. And that was like, for me, that was quick, easy peas stuff. That was just like, knock it out real quick.
But on a little bit of a parallel note, so your other stuff that you do, your leather work, your clothing stuff, how do people come to you for it? Or do you go to places and advertise it or sell it? Like,
That's where...
do you go to Ren fairs at all?
That's where I'm at right now, trying to figure out what to do. So for the most part, it wasn't until very recently that I decided I was going to try to go out on my own and do my own thing and make my own money and have my own business. Before, I was in a situation of like, all right, I've got this long catalog of skills that are available to me, and I would like go about my life listening to people talk about, oh, I wish I could have this thing, or man, I wish somebody could make this thing, and then I just pop in like, I can do that.
Hey,
it would only cost this much, and then I would take commissions that way, and that's how I've done it for the most part. And it wasn't until this year that I started promoting myself, where I'd like go out and fight in an outfit like one of these, and people would be like, I've never seen something that good. Where did you get that? And I'd be like,
crazy thing,
I made it myself. You made that? Yes,
Oh
I did.
God.
I could make one for you too. But I'm definitely getting to the point now where I need to learn how to promote myself well. I've got content. I've got a bunch of kits that I've made. I've got pictures of my process. I post them on my Instagram stories, and as well with every other little thing that I've done, I try to take pictures throughout the process and document. I need to get better at posting. I need to get better at promoting. I need to get better at like getting my name out there. I need to make a website. I need to start selling stuff on Etsy.
Website's a big thing.
Yeah.
Etsy is also really good for you.
And that's what I've really learned is there's one local rigger who's fucking dog shit. He sucks. But he gets a lot of business because he's super good at promoting himself.
Yeah.
Really well. Like, he's got a
That's
website.
where I'm at with photography. Like, back home, I see people that are like, they'll just post their stuff all the time. I'm like, dog, these photos are dog shit compared to me. But they're getting paid.
Yeah.
And making a good living off it.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck me.
And that's definitely where I fail, especially with wanting to have my own business, is just not being good at promoting myself and not being good at getting my name
I
out
will
there.
say, for your line of work, for what you do, what I've seen you able to do, like, you do need a bit of an inventory for it, but like music festivals and Renaissance fairs are really good for you.
Totally.
Because those also bring the type of people that want to come back for more.
Absolutely.
Especially like Collars. Collars make a killing at both of those places. And it's one of those things where like you have to have inventory and you have to be able to set aside at least a weekend, but also you get perks of being able to just fuck around at a Ren fair or fuck around at a music festival and also make money.
Yeah. And this is this is one of my first years trying to make it on my own, and definitely like Renaissance fairs and SCA events are where I'm at with like, I want to be able to travel and I want to be able to set up a booth, and I'm at that weird equilibrium phase of like, what thing do I devote my materials to in order to produce enough stock to be worth having a booth?
Yeah.
And for me in my head, I was like, it's blacksmithing. That's what I got to do. I got to make a bunch of that. I got to make some leather stuff.
I was going to say leatherworking and jewelry are where you're going to get the most money, especially at Ren fairs and music festivals. Because the body harnesses, killing. That's all girls wear at Ren fairs or
Yeah.
at music festivals.
Mm-hmm.
And people love to wear them at Ren fairs. Plus, they have the exposable income to buy it too.
Yeah.
Disposable, not exposable.
Oh, they're gonna be exposable.
Yeah. But yeah, those making like Viking style necklaces with like stones in them, people fucking eat that shit up for way more money than they're worth. Collars, like I said, super good.
Yep.
I'm trying to think of what like because like these would be a hard sell.
Absolutely.
Having 3 or 4 like really good ones.
Mm-hmm.
Or just having stuff like you could mannequin and be like, hey, these I also offer, but they come with a time frame.
Yeah, that's where I'm at with that stuff. Is like putting outfits like these on a mannequin and being like, these are mine, but this is the quality of stuff I can make.
Yes, that's also a really good thing. Because like blacksmith, it depends on what you're going to be making. Blacksmithing swords are really hard because it's like the price I see for like truly blacksmith swords are exorbitant.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like. And they tried to sell me real hard. I'm like, dog, I'm 24.
Yeah.
I was just interested in the sword. I can't afford a $5,000 sword for no fucking reason.
Right.
That's more than my house.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like,
And when it comes to blacksmithing, like, of course I'm gonna have my own passion projects for making swords and making guards for the stuff
like
that
medallions,
I compete with.
you
But
can
yeah,
make.
yeah, medallions
I don't know about tin
and
stuff or
like
like-
pendants or bottle openers or S hooks, stuff like that, like easy peas stuff.
Daggers and knives wouldn't be too hard. I see a
Yeah.
lot of those. Those are pretty good.
Camp gear definitely is
Yeah.
where it's at with like the knife fork spoon set and like a nice little leather travel pouch that goes
Yeah.
with it, like blacksmithing leatherwork. Boom,
Easy.
done. I've got like whenever I got started, I produced a list for myself in my notes on my phone of like simple, easy stuff that I can knock out to make money, and I don't know what my goddamn problem is that I can't just fucking get it done. I don't know. Maybe I need Adderall or something. I got the ADHD brain. I can't make it happen. You know what? I got so into sex work. When I met Ghosty, I was in the process of building my forge, and then I spent so much time going to Exotica, streaming with Ghosty,
Yeah.
trying to make money there, and I was making money there, and so I was like, all right, put my focus there. And then Ghosty went back to solo streaming, and I realized how complacent I'd gotten and how much I took for granted being able to stream with Ghosty.
Yep.
And now I'm back to the point where I'm like,
Fucking need it.
yeah,
Fuck.
yeah.
God damn it. Can't go back to Home Depot. Yeah, I totally get that. So like, we went on your favorite thing to do. What makes you? Have we gone over like what makes you more money?
What makes you more? I think that's where we were at whenever we went on to this big long tangent. So right now, making these kits makes me the most money. I've knocked out a few commissions a few of these commissions before Great Western War early this year, and when I made these commissions, I posted pictures of them online, and other people were like, "Yo, that's super cool. Can you make one like this?" And I was like, "Yeah, it would cost this much." And there's 3 or 4 different people that have displayed interest in getting one of these commissions made, but it's kind of in the part of the process of like, all right, we need to schedule a video call so I can get your measurements,
Yeah.
or I need to sit down and come up with a design and do the math on how much materials are going to cost so that you can apply that initial investment so that I can get the kit made, stuff like that. But it's all about that whole a rolling stone gathers no moss. I've got to sit down, do the work, and even if it's slow, the more work that I get in, the more I can post and promote to get more work, to post and promote to get more work, and that's a lot of how it ends up going.
That's how it is. It's you start off with the snowball and eventually it turns into a snowman.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like
Absolutely.
add more to it. So this one's a little bit of a dumb question, but I'm just interested. What's your favorite tool to fuck around with?
My favorite tool to fuck around with?
Like when you get to use it, you're like, oh yeah, nice. Within any of your mediums. I know I'm making this a really hard question, but
I know, I've got so many mediums.
he talks to ghosts too. Just the medium of mediums. Bad joke.
Actually, you sort of answered the question. I know this isn't the sex work podcast like it was last time, but my favorite tool to work with, Ghosty Goo. 100%. every time I know I get to work with it, I'm like,
yes, my tool. Haha. Love that.
I know they're
hilarious.
gonna listen to this podcast. I love you, Ghosty. You're not a tool, but I definitely like to use you like a toy. And
I like to use my tool on you.
Of course, we've had discussions about this, and we know how each other likes to be treated and talked about. So I know they like to be used like a toy, which is why I feel safe being able to talk about this on this podcast like this. Outside of that. Probably a hammer, and honestly, a hammer spans almost all of my crafting. So I've got this mallet, this rawhide mallet that I use for leatherworking. I've got 6 different kinds of hammers in the forge where I've got my doghead hammer, Japanese style doghead hammer. I've got my ball peen, my cross peen, my flattener, my flat face,
full peen. That's just when he's doing it naked for unsafe reasons.
I've got my, chasing hammer for, engraving metal, whether that be for jewelry or for, rapier guards or, accessories. Even for sewing, I use a hammer. If I've got like a cluster of fabric that's just too thick that I need to push through the machine, I can give it a couple whacks, compress it down, make it thinner. There's a tattoo that I want to get so bad, but I need to save up the money.
I would have to probably agree with you outside of like just rope in general because I'm a rigger, but in festival world, not sex world, I use rope all the time too.
Yeah.
Which it's like okay, it's cool to tie knots. It's cool to be like, yeah, I'm pulling up 600 pounds with this thing. Holy shit! But I would have to say a hammer's probably like I have my favorite hammer is it's a German nailing framing hammer. It's called a lath hammer.
Yeah.
They're just insane. It's just a weapon. It's more of a weapon than it ever will be a tool.
Yep.
Because it's like a normal fucking hammer on the front, and then the back where a claw would normally be is a half claw at half the size of a normal one, and then just a full-on 3-inch spike that can go through a motherfucking army helmet because I've done that before.
You know what hammer I've always liked? It's the classic drywall hammer. That's just a regular hammer on the front and then a whole ass axe head on the back.
Oh yeah.
For fucking cutting drywall real fast.
Yeah. It's just like hammers are good.
Hammers are good.
And then I have my mallet, getting to use a sledge at work is always a good day. You're like, oh, I'm breaking shit, hurting someone, and it's probably myself.
When I was working at Home Depot, I would love it was always real bad when it happened. I would love it when somebody fucked up the forks on the forklift because everybody knew I was a blacksmith. The first thing they would do is call for me. I'd run to the hardware section, grab a sledge, and then cold work the forks back into shape.
Sounds terrible.
Oh, it's terrible. It's scary for everybody involved.
Now, I've never fucked up forks like that, but being a certified forklift driver, I was building EDC Las Vegas. And it was the last day of work, so there wasn't anything to hurt or fuck up. But apparently I had the forks unlocked so that they could move around, and I didn't realize it was as big of a problem because I've never seen this happen. But I was driving at a decent pace. I wasn't fast, but I wasn't slow. And I guess I just hit the right amount of bumps because it was on a racetrack.
Oh.
And the fork just pops off.
Fuck.
And slides forward, and the person in charge of me is just watching this happen and comes up to me, and I'm like, hey, they're like, I got that on video. I'm like, can you send it to me? Because it's never happening again. I don't know how that. And it took us 30 minutes to get it back on there because we couldn't fucking figure it out.
Yeah.
But that shit, I think I have the video. I'll show it to you. That shit was hilarious.
Yeah.
I was like, so that's new.
Yeah.
Cool. Great. Yeah. But yeah, so hammer's a good choice.
Yeah.
I would have to say.
There's like I was saying, there's a tattoo that I want to get really bad that of an octopus. I want to get an octopus all down my right thigh and hip, and the idea is that it's this intelligent multi-talented creature, and in each of its 8 tentacles,
A different tool.
yes, a different tool for a different trade that I'm able to do, and a bunch of the tentacles are just gonna be carrying different kinds of hammers.
Yeah.
And I just so excited about it, but I gotta save up the money. I barely have enough money to feed myself right now, let alone buying tattoos.
Thankfully, I'm not at that point. I am at the point to where like it's just not within my wheelhouse to get a tattoo for no fucking reason.
Mm-hmm.
I say as if I didn't just get a tattoo for no fucking reason in my ass, but like I've got tattoos I want to get, but it's just like I need to be able to make sure I can drive across the country and work.
Yep.
So like usually what I'll do is I'll treat myself in the middle of work to a tattoo because like I've just made $1,500 that week and I'm not like fucked over if I spend this because I'm getting another $1,500 the next week, and it's like cool. But as soon as that's over, it's like, well, I got to survive a month now, and I'm not frugal whenever it comes to like eating out and shit when I'm traveling. So it's like, well, there goes my money.
Yeah.
But yeah. I'm gonna open it up to you again. Okay. Is there anything you want to get into? I don't really know if there's any like topic-wise questions for me that you might have. Can't really think of where we would go with that, but that's also on the floor. But like,
man, anything that I want to get into?
Just a rant. We can.
One thing that I think anybody listening to this who's a crafts person who wants to make money doing their craft, one thing that's super important that I struggle with
is taking a shower.
Is applying value to yourself.
Yeah.
I struggle with this so bad because
I'm worthless.
It's started a lot with the feeling worthless, and then you look at other people who are doing the same thing that you want to do, who are doing an amazing job at it, and you think to yourself, is it even worth trying to make and sell stuff on my own when they could just buy it from them?
Yeah.
And then on the more specifically on applying value to yourself, there are so many different things that I do that I've been doing for so long that to me is just easy. And I look at it and I think to myself, this was easy, why should I charge this much? And then forget, just because it's easy for me doesn't mean it's easy for everybody.
Yeah.
One thing that comes to mind really heavily that really set me on the path of thinking right about this is I've been working on cars and bikes ever since I was a lot younger, and when it got to be time to be older, I've got my Uncle Jim who lives in Missouri City. He's got a big garage full of tools, and anytime I need to work on something, I'm trustworthy enough that he's just like, all right, garage is unlocked, go have at it. You can use whatever tool you need. So one day, my brother needs to change the drum brakes on his truck, and I need to change out the disc brakes on the back of my motorcycle.
Yep.
So I'm good enough at this. I've changed enough drum brakes that I'm like, all right, Brett, park your truck behind me, and while I'm working on this, I'll talk you through how to change your drum brakes. And we're going through, and I'm just knocking out my task, and Brett's trying to work on his task. And every time he comes up with a problem, I don't even have to look at it. I just tell him what he's doing wrong and how he needs to fix what he's doing. And about midway through it, he just gets so frustrated that he goes, "Can you just do this? Like, I don't know how to do this. I don't want to know how to do this. Yeah. From now on, I'll pay you whatever you want so that I don't have to know how to do this myself."
That's how I am with car stuff. It's like, I could do this. I know the basics of it, but man, I really just don't want to do an oil change.
Exactly.
I'll pay for
it. And that is where it clicked for me of like, just because it's easy for me doesn't mean other people can or want to do this.
Yeah.
I can charge money. I am valuable. I do have worth. I can do this.
The hard thing for me with that and being a photographer is photography has become so easily accessible to the everyman that everyone thinks they can take good photos. You have a phenomenal camera just at the fingertips of your phone. That you're 2 clicks away from taking an okay photo, a good photo. People Instagram influencers and do good photos. There have been movies shot on an iPhone 11.
Yeah,
like you can do it, but there's a skill there that people don't realize that you should have to do photos. Like there's nothing more aggravating to me than seeing someone walk around like, yeah, I'm a professional photographer, and then they show up with a $400 camera. Now, yes, the price range, like what you pay for your tools doesn't matter as long as you can use them.
Mm-hmm.
But there is a significant difference between a T3i, which you can get for $300, $200 on Facebook Marketplace, and my 5D Mark IV Canon, which cost me $2,000 to buy. And the quality of the photo is exponentially better to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
And then whenever I'm doing film photography, the camera I have was built in '85, and it only cost me $700 to part out and replace all the parts and get it fixed and redo it again because I didn't know what was going on, but I learned it myself.
Mm-hmm.
But that camera produces a quality of photo if done well, that I can blow up and enlarge to the size that I could cover the entire wall of your thing. Like if I were to take a picture of your penis and blow it up to the size of your wall, you could still see the individual hair follicles fine.
Damn.
Just great. You could look inside the head of your dick if you held it open.
That sounds great.
It's so it's like insane quality compared to a $300 camera that people are just like, yeah, I can click the button, I can take good photos.
Right.
So yeah, let's whatever. But then there's also, the angles and like what looks good, what's a good pose, making the person feel comfortable, being able to lead them through the process, being able to like use your words, which is my hardest thing, is like using my words, which is why I like working with people who are just comfortable with me to begin with, because I'm like, hey, let me just move your arms.
Yeah.
Here, move arms here. That looks good. Keep that, hold that, stop. Which is how I do a lot of photos. But building up the skill set for all of that stuff comes with a price point. But my brain's just like, for my stuff, like everyone's like, well, I have my, especially for sex work, like with OnlyFans, I have my phone.
Yeah.
I do all my stuff on my phone. I don't really need this, but I'm like, but it's so much better.
Yeah.
It's so much better. Like, I get it. Like, yeah, works for the everyday dude who's trying to just jack off, but like, man, editorial stuff, come on.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I get the pain in the ass.
Yeah, for sure.
Mine's just a little bit harder to overcome, because like yours, there's only so many leather workers. There's only so many people willing to go out and buy the tools to do blacksmith stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has a phone these days.
Yeah, it's true.
Everybody has a camera on their phone.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely, one thing I would say to any crafts person is, like, know your value. Know that, just because you think it's easy doesn't mean it is easy, and figure out how to appreciate yourself as a crafts person, and you'll be on your way to figuring out how to, like, once you value yourself, then you'll be able to apply value to your product.
Yeah, I like to let people know. I always like to use this saying: shoot first, ask questions later.
Yeah.
Because if it works for cops, it's got to work for everyone else, right? You know? I'm also a comedian in my off time, and it's not going great. But are there any projects that you're currently working on that you're like really interested in, or any that you just recently finished? Because you've shown me the drawings for the stuff that you did for Ghosty, wasn't that right?
So no, it actually wasn't for Ghosty. This piece of fetish gear was for somebody named Nicole Burris. They are the girlfriend, fiance of a photographer I work with a lot here in Kansas City area named Justin Burris. He has the Instagram profile Midwest Boudoir and Light Ray Art Photography. He wanted this for his partner, and he wanted the extra kinky function of adding a handle so that he could fucking get after it from the back. And according to him, it worked out pretty well, which I'm pretty happy about. In fact, his partner liked it so much that the day after Christmas, when she got it, she wore it under her jacket all day long while they went out shopping.
That's how I am with my collar.
Cool.
I got a collar from my friend gifted me her collar, one of her collars that she makes, and like I'll wear it all the time. It's
Mhm.
like so nice. It's comfortable. Like
Yes.
I've suspended myself just off the collar.
Damn.
Not safe,
You're right.
but also, fuck it. I'm a rigger.
So there's that. There's
Sorry to the people on the podcast that can't see this, but fuck you.
There's this kit for Dan that I'm making, and I know this is a really poor illustration. But
Better than I'm gonna draw.
This kit is basically another version of that kit, but for my boyfriend Daniel D'Angelo. This is a Skeletor.
I was about to say that looks like Skeletor as fuck.
Yep, Skeletor inspired Italian doublet that somebody over in California once made, and then this is one kit that I recently made, another kit that I recently made.
That's fucking. These are impressive.
Yeah, this one was a lot of fun.
You really
honestly,
need to
my
just
favorite
post
kit.
clips of or pictures of these on your fucking Instagram.
I know, I'm working on doing it right now. This is a jacket skirt combo that I made. The skirt's around here somewhere, and the jacket I actually wore. It's a super cute crop top jacket.
Okay.
This is the third kit that I made.
Oh, I want that.
I know, it's so fucking cool.
I love that.
Made that kit for Allie Lee over in Colorado Springs. Are the people that I went with to compete at Great Western War. This is a traditional 15th century Irish woman's garment that somebody wants to commission with me, and it's one of those.
What they're saying is they have a shit ton of stuff that they've done recently.
Yeah. And so there's the Skeletor doublet. There's this Irish kit. There's Dan's kit. My brother wants a full German Landsknecht outfit that he can fight in. And then there's also a trans pride outfit fighting kit that my boyfriend's other partner also wants to have commissioned. And then
I wish I had the money to commission something. I've got some stuff I would love to have, but I do not have that excess income right now.
Right. And honestly, that's where it's at, is like getting the commissions to get people to pay for me to do these things. And I'm at the part now. Fuck, what was the original question even?
What's something that you've done recently that you're really glad you've done or proud about?
Oh, definitely those three kits: the Jester kit, the green kit, and the blue kit that you saw that I laid down. Super proud about those. They turned out super great. They look super good. I wish the people who bought them would wear them the way that they're supposed to be worn, but they won't. And that's okay, because their outfits, I already made them. I got pictures of them wearing the outfits. That's fine. But they look super good, and I had to modify them a little bit. I got the measurements, and I got these dress forms, and I set up the dress forms to be the way that they need to be. But over the course of a month, after getting the measurements, or it was like 2 months, I made it in a month, but took their measurements a month prior, because I went through the process of designing these kits, talking to them about what their dream outfit was, and then how much it was going to cost. And because the guy who was paying me runs a school of fencers with other people that are likely going to pay me to make outfits for them, they negotiated a discount.
Okay.
And then I gave them an even bigger discount because they were supposed to pay me really fast after I got the kits made. I was going to make these 3 kits, bring it out to them. They were going to fight with them at Great Western War, and it was going to be the first time that I'd ever gone west, let alone all the way to the coast west. And I thought I was going to go out there, business cards, hand them out, get a bunch of business, talk to a bunch of people, and it's just not the way that it went.
No.
When I got out there were a couple parts of the outfit that needed to be modified. I needed to take both doublets out a little bit in the side so that they would fit a little bit more comfortably. And then I had to adjust the pants fitting a little bit, because I mean that's just the way that it goes. Like if you don't have a professional like me taking your measurements, even over video call, apparently there's some things that can go wrong and just
Video
not be done
rough.
right. Yeah. But even after giving them a 50% discount and making them with a rush order and hand delivering it to them, like right before going to this event, and modifying them on site. Those fucking outfits still aren't paid for. And
Oh my
it's
God.
fucking killing me. Yeah. And that was before I decided I was going to pay myself respectfully. Originally, my price was like, all right, it's going to start at like $1,200. Now I'm like, these kits are worth $2,500.
Yeah.
And, like, knowing how much work and how much effort goes into making these kits. And they negotiated a 30% discount for their school, which brings it down to $800. And then for him, I gave him a 50% discount because I wanted him to be able to pay for them and wear them at this event. So I brought them out, delivered them.
So $1,200 for
$1,200 for 3 outfits. Yep.
Ooh.
And that shit's still not paid for. Only one of the 3 outfits is paid for, and he's fucking
get on him.
yeah, absolutely. And then he wants me to make other outfits for the same price, and I'm like, I fucking can't do that.
Yeah.
It's
Pay me
not gonna
first,
happen.
and then second, that was a one-time thing.
Yeah. And he's like, well, I mean, I knew I was going to have you make other outfits, so I basically ordered 5 outfits, not just 3. And I was like, no.
That's not how that works.
No. But yeah, that's one of the situations I'm in now. And I was super proud about the way the outfits turned out. And I thought they was going to get me a lot more business. And realistically, thinking about it, I've got that stack of outfits that people want made. I just need to do my part and reach out and be like, hey, do you want this outfit made?
Yeah.
It'll cost this much. I know it was just a holiday, and you probably spent a bunch of money on presents, but can you spend some money on me?
There's payment plans. you can do this in installments.
And then my boyfriend's friend Rose also wants me to make an 18th century full woman's gown, not to fight in, just to wear to like Renaissance festivals, and that one's gonna be super fucking exciting to make. That one's gonna look so good.
One of these days, I'll get you to make me something.
I believe
because I want it now.
Mm-hmm.
Now that I've seen these, I want it.
Yeah.
Because I know exactly what I want too.
Yeah.
Because I do. My shtick is very Viking-y, like I said. Pretty easy because I like my torso to be bare. Because like I've got this person I met in a pseudo-sexual encounter, but also like I really enjoy their work. They do custom leather, more so on the side of furs.
Okay.
They make like custom fur stuff. Like she has a whole like Arctic fox like pelt that she wears as a sash.
Nice.
She has a whole like legit wolf headdress that like turns into a cape kind of thing.
Wow.
That she makes herself.
Damn.
And like I want to get like a fur top, and then the rest of it go into like leatherwork stuff, and then like a fighting skirt kind of thing. Not even like a kilt. More of like on the feminine side.
Okay.
But like, I've got a picture that's kind of close that I'll show you.
Mm-hmm.
But like, that's something I've wanted to get done for a while. I want a good thing that I can wear. I also need a loincloth really badly, but I think I'm gonna go to her for that because it's fur.
Yeah. Man, you know what I need to do is I hear that TikTok is where it's super popular to be posting, and I've got that.
That's
outfit,
my New Year's resolution.
And that outfit and that
start
outfit.
using TikTok.
But I've also got like so here's the thing in the SDA is the SDA, the Society for Creative Anachronism, for the most part is a European game. People reenact pre-1600 European life, but it's growing to be more than that. And as a part of this growth and development and inspiration, I've made outfits from not only the European side, but also Japanese, Chinese, Russian, Mughal Indian, and that's where like the Tai Chi Jian and the katana and weapons like that come into play.
Yep.
Is where I'll make the outfit from this culture and then go onto the field fighting with the weapon from that culture in as close to the style that they would fight in an effort to show people that you don't have to dress European to play this game with us. You can come have fun and have fun the way that you want to have fun, and I can help you do it. So I've got like Japanese hakama yukata outfits that I fight in. I've got Chinese outfits that I fight in. I've got European, Indian, Russian outfits that I fight in. I need to do like a fucking cute armor up game simulation where they do the little hop and then it transitions to whatever their outfit's going to be. I need to do just a bunch of those. Or there's this YouTube creator called Morgan Donner who does what I do, but with way more research.
Yep.
And she will do this dress up video where it's like, these are the layers and these are the parts of the layers, and come with me while I get dressed in period outfits, sort of thing. And I want to do something like that.
Those
too.
are really good. Yeah, that's my New Year's resolution, is to actively get more active on social media in general, because I'm so bad about it.
I just feel like I don't know, like I know so little about photography and videography. Like I've spent all my time in front of the camera that I just feel like I'd be so bad at it. And I hate the idea of doing a thing and doing it badly and wasting my chance to do the good version of it.
Yep.
It's like all these outfits that I've had, I haven't had them posted on my Instagram page because in my head, if I post it once, then I shouldn't repost it later because it's already on there.
Fine.
So in my head, I'm like, save these outfits for a photographer that I like, who I think can take photos of it well.
I got you.
And then that'll be the one post. But now streaming on Twitch and getting to know other crafters, I'm coming to realize that no, like I can post pictures multiple times.
Yep.
Like pictures of it hanging there, and also pictures of me wearing it, and pictures of me working on stuff beforehand. Like I just need to post.
Yep.
Man, that's where that's so bad. I need to do a better job of promoting. I need to do a better job of posting, and I need a better job of make a website, post on TikTok, advertise, talk to people. I just gotta do it.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. But to start wrapping up the stream a little bit, so like we did last time, I want to have you just give our listeners something either positive to go off of, or just something to think about that, gives them a little treat for sticking with us so long, because we love you.
We love you so much.
But fuck you.
Butt fuck?
Yeah, if you're into it.
Honestly, for the end, if there's one thing that I want people listening at home to remember when listening to the stream, it's the topic that we talked about a little bit earlier. You do have value. You are worth it. Follow your passion, pursue it, and just make it happen.
Unless you're Ben Shapiro. If you're Ben Shapiro listening to my fucking podcast, get off.
Yes, absolutely. You and your fucking...
Just
was it facts don't care about your feelings?
Yeah.
Fucking basing all your facts on your feelings, like starting at your religion and then coming up with facts to back up your religion. That's not at all. Also, just admit it. You like femboys. It's out there. Everybody knows.
We know. Your wife knows. You don't get her wet.
But
sorry to derail that.
Yes. Crafters at home, you are valuable. The things that you do are worth it. Follow your passion. Pursue it. As long as you're doing what you love, that's what really makes it worth it. Find ways to fulfill yourself in your own special way.
And just one more time, who are you and where can we find you?
How
did you get in here?
I am Fenris. You can find my Instagram page under Grossheim Crafts, spelled GROSSHEIM _crafts. And then you can find my Twitch, Grossheim Crafts, where I stream my crafts as I'm making my crafts, as well as my Twitter, Grossheim Crafts, under the same name. Instagram is the only one that has an underscore, though. All the rest of them are just Grossheim Crafts. Come follow along. If you want to learn about sewing or leatherworking or blacksmithing, come check out my page. I like to post little tutorials on how I go about doing things, not necessarily how you should go about doing things. And if you're interested in some of the things that I do and you want to give me a commission, feel free to hit me up, throw me a DM, and eventually I'll have a website up that you can go check out as well.
Alrighty. Thank you guys so much for sticking around. this far into a podcast again. I truly appreciate it. If you liked these last two podcasts, go give them a follow. Go support them. Support me. That'd be nice. Just tell me how you guys like the podcast. I like to know. I don't get feedback. But with that, we will bid you adieu until the next episode. Have a great night and Merry Christmas.
Hi guys.